Okay, I'm gonna do a video I'm gonna talk about homelessness and a little bit about my experiences with it and my thoughts on it. But first, I'm gonna take off my shirt on camera and put on a different shirt. Here it is. Let's see. We're going to see if this lovely shirt from the Divine Miss Stewart, a Christmas gift. We're gonna see if it fits. It looks really small. I think that Miss Stewart, uh, who I've known for almost 30 years, but we haven't seen each other. I think she forgot I have some. I've never worn a small. Let's put it like this: I've never worn a small shirt without there being some stretching involved because I have big tits. Okay, but here I am. I'm going to take off my shirt on camera. Oops, look, my zipper's almost down. Look at that. Okay, and we're putting on the new shirt. Okay, see if it fits. Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's a little tight, but I can get it on. And you get to see my tummy. And there we are. So here I am in my new Star Trek shirt. It's kind of difficult to see. Well, you get to see the my assets, and you get to see the stretching of the Starship Enterprise. Okay, good. All right, now I'm going to talk about homelessness. As most people who read my blog know, I have had an experience with homelessness, only 9 months long. And I stayed in California. I lost my house in December of 2014. Stayed in California because of my church. Asked God about it. And so I said, okay, I'm going to avail myself of my veteran benefits and see what they can do for me with regard to getting housing. So I did that, and they had me stay in homeless housing for 9 months. And that was in North Hollywood. I blogged about it. It was an experience. But when I went to veteran housing, I got the homeless housing, and they said I would have to wait 3 days before I got into the homeless housing. And where I stayed for 3 days was a shelter on Skid Row. Now, I'd seen Skid Row, of course. Everyone has seen Skid Row who lives in Los Angeles. They've been downtown. And it's an experience, especially for somebody like me. Okay, recently a video has been going around. It's a video of Los Angeles Skid Row on Christmas Day of 2017. Trash, tents, humanity, filth. That's pretty much the size of it. That's what I saw right in my own two eyes. People are shocked at the sight of this, but it didn't just begin this year. Skid Row has been around since 1880, and according to Wikipedia, in the 1930s there were 10,000 residents of Skid Row, all in various states of homelessness, inebriation, drug addiction, all those things. So this is nothing new. A lot of people are saying that it's about having Democrat presidents. Democrat mayors and city council. It's not about that. Although we've had our share of a lot more Democrat, way more Democrat presidents. Keep saying presidents. Way more Democrat mayors than Republican mayors. However, the last Republican mayor was Richard Riordan. His stint was from 1993 to 2001. He his election was pretty much a result of Tom Bradley. Many people were not pleased with Tom Bradley's administration, though it was very long, and a result of the 1992 riots. So that's how we got a short and recent Republican mayor. But every other mayor since then has been a Democrat. We had Vera Gosa, and there was another one I can't think of the name right now. Right now it's Eric Garcetti, and they're all Democrats. Okay. Over the years, I've had three different attitudes about homeless people and homelessness. Back when I was fat, flush, and full of belongings, lots of material things, and a little bit of money, I looked down on the homeless and was repulsed by them. But that was only a brief feeling, because every time I saw a homeless person, I would get that feeling, but I would also get another feeling. It was God talking to me, saying that he can't use this feeling, or he doesn't like this feeling. But it was God telling me. I got a knot in the pit of my stomach. It was telling me, no, this is not how you should be feeling about your fellow human beings. So I said, what do you want me to do, God? And I knew from just reading to pray for them. Pray that just pray for them to have the things that they're needing, that most people need: food, clothing, shelter, those things. Pray that they would become followers of Jesus Christ. So that's what I did for quite some time. And I'd say that was maybe about that change in attitude happened about 10 maybe more years ago. But God was not done with me yet. As I said, I knew I would become homeless. So when I stayed at those 3 days on Skid Row, I got to see up close and personal the people that stayed there. I was one of those people for 3 days. Now, people probably think I might have been scared, and I might have been scared had I not been grabbing hold to the promises in Psalm 91 long before I stayed there. So, what they do is you have to be in there, stand in line, be there at 5 o'clock, come in, you can't leave. They feed you, then you have to go wherever you're going. Then you have to go into the room that they assign to you, usually with one or two persons of the same sex. People you don't know. You don't know their habits. You don't know who they are. And you're there and you sleep, and then you have to be up at, I forget, you have to be up and out at 5:30, I believe it is, and go wherever it is you go, and they don't care. But I did that for 3 days. And finally, when I got into the homeless housing, I got to see people who were a little different, but I also got a little different than the ones on Skid Row. But they are also into a cycle. And there were some people there that had been homeless for years, that had been staying in that homeless housing for 3, 4, 5 years. And that I couldn't imagine. In the homeless housing, you get a room, you get one roommate, you get two roommates, and you stay there for however long. The one roommate I had, the first one, was an interesting character. I don't want to talk about her, because I have that's a whole separate issue. But then I moved to a different room, and I had two very nice ladies, older than I am. I'm 56, These ladies were in their 60s, and they had both been homeless for 10, 12 years. But very nice ladies. Slept all the time though. I had to be in the room and asleep by 9 o'clock, and they slept till like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. But I found out why, because they were drugged. They had prescription medicine. Okay, and so I did that for 9 months, and then I found an apartment. Well, the Veterans Administration found me an apartment. And so here I am. I've been in this apartment for 2 years. Now, let's go back to my attitudes. I started praying for homeless people, and I still do that. Still pray for individual homeless people whenever I run into them, encounter them, all the time. But what I found out during my stint living around homeless people, especially in the homeless housing, is that a lot of people who are homeless because they won't do certain things. They won't give up the drugs. They won't give up the alcohol. There's some other things that they do that I'll talk about in a second. They won't give up the drugs or the alcohol, nor will they accept the free treatment that the state offers to get them loose from drugs and alcohol. They won't accept the free detox that the state offers them. So we had a lot of people get kicked out of the homeless housing because they got caught with alcohol, or back then marijuana was not quite legal. You can do it on the grounds, although the rules are spotty at that place. Other harder drugs. Plenty of people got kicked out for those things. And there's an attitude. Okay, I'll give you an example of my personal attitude, because I'm just me. I like wine. I love wine. I'm going to probably have a sip in a few minutes. But when I was living in homeless housing, I was not allowed to have wine there, so I gave it up. Stopped drinking it for the 9 months that I was there. Didn't have any problem with it. It's like okay, fine. Lots of people there, they delighted in trying to break those rules. Some people successfully, will smuggle booze or whatever into the place. Other people got caught, got kicked out. Banned for 3 days or banned for however long. And there's that attitude that, hey, I don't want to follow the rules, so I'm not going to. There's that. Now, when I knew I was going to be homeless, I said to God, God, okay, I'm going to be homeless for however long time it's going to happen. All I ask is I never have to sleep on the street, and I have a clean, dry, private place to wash myself, handle my business, and clean, private, and safe. And I've had that ever since. Been clean, private, and safe, even at the homeless housing. So, but many of the people on the street, many people that I've seen on the street, they won't follow the rules. They won't say, hey, I need help. I need help getting off of whatever it is I'm on meth or whatever. Don't want to get help. They enjoy doing whatever it is they're doing. And that's why you see many of the people on the streets. Okay, and there's another issue. Now, when I first moved into this apartment building, this was a little over 2 years ago now, I was kind of getting attitude from my landlord. And I found out later on, now we get along pretty good now, and I found out what the attitude was about. The man before me was also a veteran. The man before me got kicked out because he was having parties in this apartment all the time. Drugs, booze. Booze was one thing, but just people in and out were doing all kinds of drugs, and women in and out, noise, all hours of the day. Midnight. 3 o'clock in the morning. And my landlord's other tenants were complaining. So he had a bad experience with another veteran who had been homeless. So he had the guy evicted. So he was already kind of like, what's up with these veterans? I think I may be the second veteran that that my landlord has. Second veteran tenant is what I'm trying to say. So what I'm saying is, first my attitude was, look at these people, yuck. Then my attitude was, oh, these poor people. Now I'm somewhere in the middle here. There are people. There were a few people like me who had crappy stuff happen. I lost my house. My credit was awful. So I couldn't get anybody to rent to me at first. And there are people like me, but I'm going to say that there are probably people who are just down on their luck for a few minutes or those are in the minority. Many of the people here, the homeless that I've seen, do not want to handle their problems, do not want to get any help handling their problems. They like to having their problems. So I'm kind of, like I said, I've swung from one end to the other end, and now I'm in the middle. I look at places like Skid Row. Okay, I can see maybe living on the street, living in a tent in a nice climate here. I can sort of see that. I can't see myself doing that, but I can sort of see that. What I can't see, let's fix this. What I can't see is all the trash and crap and shit all over the place. I can't fathom living in that. I can't fathom it. But there are many people, they're so high, they don't care. They become used to it. I'd say they become immune to it. Yeah, one of my commenters on my Facebook page suggested that I guess there's a law saying that you can't be committed for the reason that you used to be able to be committed for, and my commenter thinks that law should be rescinded, and he's probably right. I don't know, but I'm saying that there's a problem. I don't know. Maybe it's not the majority. I might have said it's majority before, but maybe it's not the majority. But there's a goodly portion of the homeless who don't want help. They want to be out there. They want to be doing their thing without somebody who's they're renting from, tell them, hey, you can't do that on my property. And so that's the perspective that people need about homelessness. That's my perspective. That's what I've seen. Somebody else who's been homeless can probably give some, refute what I'm saying, and be right. I don't know, but this is what I've seen. This is what I saw when I was homeless. All right. Happy New Year. And oh, thanks for the gifts. I got another gift. Let's see. Can I show it? Or maybe I'll show it. This is from Mr. Payton. You are so wonderful, John. I love you. I love all of you. I love lovely Miss L. Stewart. I love all the people that listen to me and read my blog and agree with me and disagree with me. And I hope you have a blessed 2018. And God be with you. In Jesus' name.